Well, welcome to Live Impact News right here on 13 News Now Plus. It is the start of another week here on Live Impact News. It's 1:01 p.m., December 15th, and it is, in fact, a Monday. We appreciate you joining us once again here on our digital platform as we dive into 2 straight hours of all of the most breaking, most impactful news for you here locally, nationally, and globally. And we've got a long week ahead, but Christmas is on the horizon, so we are all going to get through it together. And nothing helps you get through tough days, long days, or the holidays like the People's producer, Nia Campbell. Nia, thank you so much for being here once again for another week of Live Impact News. How's everything?
Of course, everything's going good. How are you, Connor?
Do I see triple necklace?
You do see triple necklace.
I like. Is that a special thing, or is that just like what inspired the fashion choice here?
I just went turtleneck, so I had to go necklace.
Oh, necklace goes well with turtleneck.
Yes.
That does make a lot of sense. I'm learning. You know, these are all things that I just don't inherently have the fashion sense, so I'm learning. Well, Nia, thank you so much for helping produce another Live Impact News. But thank you even more for joining us here today as we welcome meteorologist Taylor Stephenson to the stage, to the studio, to the chair. Taylor, it was a weather impact alert.
It was.
It is no longer.
Correct.
How's everything looking out there?
Cold.
Yeah.
That's really the name of the game today, is just cold. But I was telling Eugene in Live Impact News earlier today that we have to get used to this. Winter starts on Sunday, so we will have cold days, and that's just how it works out.
So you're saying time to stop. We're not in denial anymore. We're in acceptance.
Yes.
We're moving forward.
Moving forward.
With an eye towards spring to come.
Well, we have to get through the heart of winter first. We're still in fall technically. So we have to get through winter before I can even think about spring. And what is literally not concerning me, but my eyes are a little bit more open, is that we've had flurries and snow 3 times in the past week and a half to 2 weeks. So I think it's going to be a very cold winter for us. And I can show you that even for the start of December, which has marked the beginning of the meteorological winter, we have been well below normal for most days. Right now, though, do not let the sunshine fool you. It's a beautiful look from Virginia Beach at the moment, but temperatures right now in the lower 30s, feeling more like 20 degrees this afternoon. Feels like temperatures, how it feels to your skin. This morning, we had a cold weather advisory in place that was until 9 a.m. for feels like temperatures that were in the single digits, as low as 4 degrees. So we've had some improvements since this morning, but still a very cold afternoon. And we really won't be and feel much better by the time we get to our high temperatures today, as it feels like temperatures will only be in the mid-20s at best. So a cold start to our day here today. And as we progress to the next few days, each and every day, we're going to see a big warm-up. That's because high pressure is in control. And you can see those blue H's hovering around the Appalachian Mountains. This is a cold high pressure, though. What that means is that that's going to bring in some north winds, and that will keep us cold today and tomorrow. But as it starts to move offshore for us, that will change our wind direction. So by the time we get into your Wednesday and Thursday, I'm expecting a fairly big warm-up where temperatures will finally be near or above normal for this time of year. That high-pressure system slides offshore, gives us south winds for the end of the work week. But right now, let's just be grateful that we're not adding any type of wet weather on top of this, because if we did have wet weather, it would definitely be snow at this point. But you can see radar for us sweeping quiet, even though we did have some snow, some grapple yesterday, and some cold rain in the morning time. For the rest of your day, temperatures, like I said, will stay in the lower 30s. This is hovering right around freezing, 32 degrees, 33 degrees for most of us. Some places may only be in the 30s for maybe an hour or so before dipping back down into the upper 20s. It's that north wind continuing to give us that cold air. And that continues through the night tonight. So even around 9 o'clock, temperatures will be at best in the lower to upper 20s. But during a day like this, I try to focus less on the actual air temperatures and focus more on how it actually feels to your skin, because it's what really matters at this point. So Futurecast wind chill shows that by the afternoon, it's going to feel more like the lower 20s around the eastern shore, middle to upper 20s for the rest of the peninsulas in the south side and northeastern North Carolina. But places around the coast, Virginia Beach, Kill Devil Hills, may only feel like 23 degrees by 3 p.m. So continue to bundle up today, and even into tonight, right around 8 o'clock, feels like temperatures plummet again to the teens around some parts of the peninsulas, still the mid-20s for most of us. My concern tomorrow turns to the morning time, where we have kids who may be waiting at the bus stop, those who may be heading into work early, right around 7 o'clock. You see those whites and pinks on the map. That feels like temperatures in the teens in the morning. Again, lower 20s for most of us. So yet again, another cold start to the day for your Tuesday. Now, here's a look at the month of December so far. We're halfway through the month now, it being December the 15th. And the blue marks below normal days for high temperatures. Gray marks right near normal. And then red marks above normal. And you see that between the grays and the reds, we've only had 2 days either at or above normal this entire month. Every single other day has been below normal. And we'll add the 15th and tomorrow, the 16th, onto those below normal days. So we have had a very cold stretch for the first half of the month. So I think we've kind of started to settle into those cooler days, but it just shows that winter is really here upon us.
And then towards the end of this week, it's going to start to, we're going to fill in red a little bit.
Yeah,
we're
we
gonna
will.
Make up, okay.
We will, as
Yeah.
high pressure slides offshore. Tomorrow, though, still another cold day, sunny but cold. Temperature starting off in the mid-20s around the coast, lower 20s inland. By the time we get into the afternoon, highs at best will be in the lower 40s. We'll have a lot of sunshine, and then during the evening time, we'll dip back near freezing, but skies will stay clear. But as you mentioned, Connor, we have this warm up on the way. And each and every day from now through Thursday will rise 5 to 10 degrees each afternoon. So tomorrow is an improvement from today. Not the best improvement, but an improvement nonetheless. We'll be in the mid 40s for your Tuesday. By Wednesday afternoon, mid 50s. That's right near normal. Our average high temperature is right around 55 degrees. On Thursday, I am tracking temperatures back in the lower 60s. Now, that's ahead of our next system as high pressure slides offshore, and then we get some of those south winds ahead of our next cold front, and I'll show you the probability of seeing some rain Thursday and Friday as that front slides through. We'll come back to that graphic just to talk about the next 10 days, because that takes us into Christmas week. But here's a look at the next few days when it comes to rain and winter weather chances. Dry today. Tomorrow morning, and maybe a few clouds. Dry during the afternoon, lots of sunshine. You take it through Wednesday, and we're a bit more cloudy than we were on Tuesday.
Oh, wow.
Then you get into your Thursday morning, clearing out before our next system brings in rain chances late Thursday. This is Friday morning around midnight. And then Friday morning for that morning commute, we could have some widespread rain. Now, the rain will be on the cooler side because temperatures will be in the 40s, mid-40s during the morning time, but too warm to actually see any winter weather. But that will impact your work commute in the morning time. By the time we get into Friday afternoon, though, significantly clearing, sunshine returns again, temperature still in those mid-50s, and then we see a cool down for the remainder of the weekend. Now let's go back into that temperature trend, because that takes us through about Friday. Let's go and see the rest of the next 10 days. And that takes us to Christmas week, which happen to be the last 2 days on this temperature trend. So Wednesday and Thursday of next week. That's Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, here and here. You can see temperature should be somewhere around normal, so mid-50s. So that's a good trend for us. And I can even show you, too, the outlook for the Mid-Atlantic for Christmas week as well.
Oh, are we going to do a full Christmas Day dive here?
A little bit, so
Okay.
people kind of know what to expect. but it says that our rain chances should be a little bit drier than normal, or wet weather should be a little bit drier than normal, but above normal for anywhere through North Carolina, the Commonwealth, and then through most of the U.S. We should be above normal. This is Christmas week, December 23rd to December 29th. And that even takes us to a couple of days before New Year. Looking like that, even though we started off the month very cool, we may kind of level out and even out by the end of the month with near or above normal temperatures through at least Christmas week.
This is great. This works for me. It is lucky in a lot of ways that system you were talking about on Friday didn't come through today and tomorrow, because then that likely would have been a sizable snowfall.
For sure.
Instead, it's going to be kind of coldish rain at the end of the week. Today, just those freezing cold temps. Let's go from science to vibes real quick.
Okay.
Because you hit us with the science. Going outside today for you, and you worked the morning shift, so you were out there.
I actually didn't work. I'm working dayside, so
you're
I didn't
dayside?
feel the cold temperatures.
What?
Thankfully.
Dayside Taylor in the house?
Dayside.
How does it
yes.
feel? Welcome to Dayside.
I like dayside because I get to sleep in.
So we'll see you at 4 p.m. as well.
Say one more time. I'm sorry.
You'll be on the 4 p.m. with us as well.
I will. Yes.
Okay. Well, now, so even so, walking, maybe you got here around 9 a.m. or so, around that time frame. What when you walked outside, was it that bitter cold that you kind of were expecting? Did you feel that discomfort that you get when it gets totally all the way up there?
I didn't feel it, but that's because I had multiple layers on.
Yeah.
I have a huge puffer jacket. And then I have multiple layers. I have multiple pairs of leggings on right now, plus socks, plus boots. So I didn't really feel it because I feel like I dressed properly. And I also had gloves. I bought some gloves for the winter.
Yes.
So I had that and my little, warm headband. So I didn't feel it. But I will say Craig said he felt it this morning walking in at 3 a.m. So I think the people who had kind of the earlier time frame before 9 a.m., so anytime between 3 and about 8, they probably felt the really cold temperatures. Me, I'm okay. I didn't feel that at all.
Congrats on a new set of gloves.
Thanks. I was told that I need to purchase gloves, so I purchased gloves.
Who told you that?
Our boss, because I didn't wear gloves on a snow day that we had recently. And yes, so I purchased some gloves.
Okay, one, congrats on the glove purchase.
Thanks.
Number two, I agree with you in that this morning I went out and I was dressed appropriately and it wasn't so bad. Last night around 9:30 p.m., I had to take out the trash.
Bitter.
And so I just went outside in shorts and a t-shirt. I was like, I'll be in and I'll be out. It was painfully cold. Like, Naya, I see the eyebrows have raised to the ceiling there. It was so cold. And I thought immediately to the weather impact alert you guys have been talking about. And I was just like, this is what they're talking about. This is freezing. You okay, Naya?
I just can't imagine shorts and a t-shirt.
It's right down. I mean, it's just taking out the trash.
But still,
I understand that.
It's like maybe it's an 80-second trip. And so I don't want to get bundled up for that.
I don't blame you because I would do the same thing.
And I did do the thing. It's impossible to look cool doing this, but I'm walking back from dropping off the trash, and I'm not going to go to a full run, but I did do one of those like half. And it is impossible to look cool doing a half run.
Yeah.
But I did it because it was just that cold out. And then, so I made it in there before long, but it was bitter cold. I love that we're going to have a warm up later this week.
Me too.
Okay.
I'm really excited for that.
Anything else we need to know?
No, not particularly. Just that's about it. Warm up and some rain late week.
Okay, love it. And 11 a.m. today is when the weather impact alert subsided. And now we move forward as things slowly start to warm up. Naya, do you have any questions for Taylor Stephenson?
No questions.
Yeah.
It was freezing cold yesterday.
It was.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was. Well, I got smacked in the face with flurries yesterday morning. I was like, you know what? I'm going to stay inside for the rest of the day. I'm okay.
Where were you at?
Downtown Norfolk.
Oh, you were just out and about?
I was working, yeah. I had worked yesterday, and so I went outside, and it was flurrying and just, hit me in the face. And I was like, you know what? It's the day to, sit down, do some chores, clean my apartment, turn the heat on.
Good call.
And not step back outside.
Okay.
I will say,
Go ahead, Naya.
we did talk about this yesterday.
We did.
And then I remembered I did wake up, and it was going sideways.
It was really breezy yesterday. So it was really windy yesterday, and that's why the snow was, blowing sideways. But yeah, it was flurrying for a minute. It didn't accumulate anything, but it was definitely cold.
Yeah,
Very
I mean,
cold.
as much snow as I've seen in a first half of a December, even those little flurries that I can remember in some time in Hampton Roads.
Yeah.
I mean, there is just like, it's not rare for the first half of this month to just see the occasional flurry, the occasional actual snowfall.
Yeah.
I mean, we've really, it's just been cold. It has just
has
been
been.
freezing cold. But what does that mean, Naya?
What does it mean?
What do we deserve in return for the cold
Oh.
December?
A very early warm spring.
A warm March. Warm March is what we are asking for here on Live Impact News. And we are asking nothing more of Taylor Stephenson because she has already done a wonderful job
Thank
for
you.
us.
Yeah.
We will see you at 4 o'clock. Dayside
good.
Taylor, I know you got a lot of work to do. So.
Yeah, I'm just excited that we haven't seen an inch of snow because that means my prediction is still running true. Hopefully, I can win the
What's your-
snowfall contest.
What's your day? Do you mind vocalizing it? You
Yeah.
don't want to jinx yourself.
January 15th. I chose that specifically because it's my sorority's Founders Day, so I was like, might as well. And I thought like, okay, mid-January might feel right. And we only had half an inch of snow in Norfolk, so I'm on the right track, and it looks like we're going to be warmer through the end of 2025 and early 2026. So I might be the one to win this year.
1 month from today, Taylor
Yes,
Stephenson's
it
prediction.
is. It is.
Nia, did you have a prediction, Nia? Do you have a day down on the calendar for the snow contest?
I put January 20th.
January
Okay,
20th.
okay.
I don't even remember what day I chose. I threw one. I definitely sent an email to Chief Meteorologist Tim Pandagis, but I don't remember what day I chose.
wanna know.
So let's do a quick. Is there a prize for that contest?
There is. I don't remember what they won last year, but there was a prize.
Wasn't last year like a snow globe?
I don't
Or
remember.
am I just making that
I don't
up?
remember.
That is on the nose. The only one of these that I can see is Dana's because she replied all to a message
Dana
that
say?
very distinctly says "Don't reply all."
What did Dana say?
This. You know what? This is for 2024. I'm gonna clean out my email
Yeah.
after this Live Impact News. I'm gonna clean some things out here. That is. I'm sorry about that.
Go to your
Last
sent
year-
inbox. That's where you can find it.
My what?
Your sent inbox, like sent mail,
See, that's what I need to do.
and then
Okay.
filter it that way.
Okay. Let's see. I know that it's a Tim Pandagis email. Yeah. No, I've got.
So you really didn't send yours in.
I think I may have missed my chance. And I love snow globes. Oh, that's unfortunate. Okay. So I'm going to get with Tim after this. I'm going to submit a late prediction. I will see if he lets me into the contest. Other than that, I'm rooting for both you guys.
Thanks.
The 15th and the 20th.
That's very close. We'll
It
see.
is close.
We'll see.
If the
Well, I should
15th,
do the 18th.
oh yeah, if it goes right in between your guys' predictions, that's
Then that
not
means
cool.
that she probably would win because I would be. My day would
Oh,
already
yeah,
pass.
it's-
Well, unless somebody here at the station chose the 18th exactly.
Yeah, that's
then we
very
have a real problem
possible.
on our hands. Why don't we do, if the 15th passes and it doesn't snow, we all hop on the Naya bandwagon and we root for Naya to take home the prize.
A few days later, I feel like you would already know the forecast by then.
It is very possible that we would. That's definitely. But if Naya wins the snow globe, then we can make it a part of our decor here in Live
Oh,
Impact
that's true.
News.
That's true.
We need more stuff. We need more stuff in our Live Impact News
Yeah.
studio. We bobbleheads,
Yeah.
Maybe we commission bobbleheads of our own selves.
Oh my gosh, I already have a big head. I don't know about all that. I don't know about
Well,
all
you guys
that.
got stickers. We can get
Oh,
some,
we do have. Yeah, the weather team. We have stickers made of ourselves.
Where are those?
They're really cool.
I can go if you go put the camera back on y'all for a second. I can go get them real quick.
Okay, put the camera
Yeah.
back on us for a second.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome.
I'll be right back.
Stickers of our own weather team. And you heard, we'll go over this again while Taylor is getting stickers to show us that the weather team had made of themselves. They're doing a lot of fun stuff back there in that weather lab. All right, so bitterly cold last night into this morning. But the good news is the weather impact alert has ended. It ended at 11 a.m. And now we start the slow and steady march back to above average temperatures, which we will get by the end of this week. Now, also at the end of this week, we will get some rainfall, but it'll come once the temperatures have climbed back up from mid-50s all the way up even to sort of the low 60s. And Naya, we can pull up this image that we've been seeing behind Taylor. And remember what Taylor said. Don't be fooled by the sunshine. You just observe that image from inside a building with a good heating system, And you might think it's a beautiful day outside, and it is a beautiful day outside, but it does not feel great out there. Despite that, the aesthetics of that image, it is freezing out there, especially at the Virginia Beach oceanfront where you got that wind coming off of the water. Okay, Taylor has returned, and I cannot wait to see what...
I'm a little upset. I think my stickers got stolen because I had stickers on my desk and I can't find them, so I stole Hunters in return.
Oh, your stickers, hey, hot commodity. Taylor stickers.
Borrowed Hunters.
Borrowed, right. If you return it in the right condition, it's just borrowing. Okay. We have stickers of ourselves. Look at that.
Oh, all right. Now, Naya, can I focus? Oh, that's a little better. Oh, you guys have stickers of the whole team and the Weather Interceptor down there.
Interceptor, 13 News Now, Weather Impact 24/7 stickers.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, you want me to? Okay. All right. Let's see. Let me know if I'm going the right direction.
You are. Wait. Yeah.
There, pretty good. A little more. Are we good?
There we go.
Pretty. Oh yeah, look at the team. This is great. What are you guys gonna do with these?
I don't know. They've just been sitting on my desk, but mine were stolen, so I have to figure out. But yeah, it was created by, I think, I don't know, but they give them to our the people that run ads on our pages and stuff like that. So this is for the sales team to distribute to their clients.
Ah, well, I'm also going to request 50 of those. I'm going to take them around town, and I'm going to slap them on just various, things around town so that when people are strolling through Hampton Roads, they're just seeing our weather team hanging out. Yeah. Now, what would you ever give that as part of a Christmas gift?
I thought about it, honestly.
I feel like
I thought about it, honestly.
Is there like family members, best friends? They would think that is so cool. They would love that.
I feel like my sorority sisters would love these. Like a couple of them, I feel like they would actually put on their computers. You know how like when you're in college, you like put all those stickers on your laptop. Mm-hmm. I feel like they would actually do that. So I was thinking about maybe doing that for them. But I need to find my other stickers. But yeah, we have all these stickers. They're cute, but yeah, this is Hunter's pack.
You know what would be amazing is if you sent some of those to your sorority sisters, you go to visit them in a few months, and on their laptops are just like Tim and Evan's face.
Oh,
like, what's going on here? Why did you?
You have to be like, why did you choose them?
You know, there's a sticker of me here too that you can put on there. That is awesome. We are going to work to commission one of those for Live Impact News. And you obviously will be on the Live Impact News one as well.
Yes.
You're one of our main guests here from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. Okay, that is awesome. What a way to end our forecast. Yeah. I so did not see that coming. Now, we're definitely going to have to work to get some of those stickers in here. We can maybe put some on our monitors or up on our walls or something like that. And keep us posted if you find the thief who took your sticker pack.
I will, because hang on. First of all, who's sitting at my desk?
I know.
Second of all, that's the real question. Second of all, why are my stickers gone?
We were in here preparing for Live Impact News, and from about 12:05 to 12:07, Naya was gone. And we don't know
you stole my stickers.
She was. 2 minutes she was gone. She said she had to grab her chapstick.
Okay. Yeah, right.
I don't think so.
We are not about to pin this one.
We'll check tape. There's cameras all over this building. We'll see who went in and took your stuff, and we will we'll make sure that they are reprimanded.
And Connor, put me on the list as we do Live Impact News later on this week to talk football, because
we got games coming up.
We got
games coming up. We definitely will. You're off Thursday and Friday, right?
I am, and the game's Friday.
Okay, maybe. Well, I also am going to have some days off.
Okay.
So we'll have to make sure that we.
Well, are you here tomorrow?
To do this. I'm not here tomorrow. We might need to dive in today for just a brief moment. What do you think, Naya? I know that we've had a bit of a slow day. We have a few things to get to, but nothing pressing. Can we do a quick college football playoff preview, Naya? Do we have a moment?
Yeah.
Because I will be off for quite a few days coming up here, and you're off Thursday, Friday as well. Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, and let's set the stage here. Okay. There's a lot of teams in the college football playoff, but there's one team that truly matters for Taylor Stephenson and the Live Impact News team. My Virginia Tech Hokies are out. Okay. Yeah. Nia Campbell's FAMU Rattlers,
Rattlers, but yes.
Rattlers are a very, very, very good football team who I actually saw play live last year, and they were incredible.
Yeah.
But they, too, are done with their season, and so we're all on the Oklahoma Sooners bandwagon. A home game in Norman, Oklahoma against the Alabama Crimson Tide.
Which is ridiculous.
8 p.m. on Friday night. How do you feel, Taylor?
I don't think Alabama should even been in the playoffs. That's why I'm upset.
Okay.
That's why I don't understand why we're playing them again.
A lot of people feel like Alabama should not be in the playoff. And you already beat them once. Now you got to do it again.
I know, and we beat them on their home turf, so they're going to come for vengeance on our home turf. I just feel like if you're a 3-loss team, it doesn't matter if you made it to the SEC championship. You made it by default. I think that you should not be in the playoffs. Now, I also think, too, that Notre Dame shouldn't have ended their season just because they didn't make it into the playoffs. I think that's very bitter. And they need to join a conference.
Yeah.
and
Go off. Go off, Taylor.
They need to join a conference. I just don't think we should have. I think if of the two, we should have. Notre Dame should have been in there, and we should have played Notre Dame. I don't think Alabama deserves to be there, but they're going to have a point to prove. So Oklahoma needs to come ready to make sure that their point is not proven.
Yeah, it's a very tough spot. When teams are this good, it's so tough to beat one of those teams twice.
Yeah, in the same season.
But on the flip side, since Oklahoma joined the SEC, you guys have had Alabama's number. I mean, you're like the boogeyman for the Crimson Tide.
We have.
So I feel good about that part of it.
I do too, and I feel good that it's a home game. That makes me feel really good because I know that they're going to show out in Oklahoma. They're going to be there no matter what the temperature is, what it's like. The first playoff game, and it's on, our home turf in the Palace on the Prairie. They are going to pack that stadium out. So
the Palace on the
Prairie, and I just, it's going to be a stressful Friday night for me. It's going to be very stressful for me. And I will be screaming like last time, maybe even catch a cramp like the last time.
That's true. Make sure maybe we'll get like an IV or some electrolytes.
Yeah, I have bananas on deck.
Okay,
at home,
we got bananas on deck.
Yeah.
I want to run through really quick. Here's Oklahoma to end the season. They win at number 14, Tennessee. They win at number 4, Alabama.
Yes.
They beat number 22, Missouri, and then they finish off with a win against LSU.
Barely.
A very talented team. They beat them by 4. So you guys are on fire. It's a little sneaky. I feel like people are not giving you enough attention. Maybe the best defense in college football along with Ohio State.
Yes.
So this Oklahoma team is definitely scary. Now, we know you're going to be screaming.
Yeah.
And we know that you are going to be guarding against cramping. Other than that, what's the situation? Lay out your Friday watching situation.
Okay.
Is Nia Campbell in the building? Is she there to support?
I don't know. Will you be there to support?
Okay.
I don't know.
I was just about to ask, am I invited? We can do like little cute trays, game day trays.
Oh my gosh, yes! I would actually love that because I'm off on Fridays. That's actually perfect.
I'm not off. I get off at 7:30. What time is
Games
this?
at 8?
Games at 8.
Okay.
Yeah, games at 8. And you know how they do when it comes to big games. Sometimes they don't even start right at 8. So yeah, we can definitely do that. I would love that. And
I won't be screaming, but I will.
That's
be there.
fine. No, you're just there for moral support.
Yes.
And there to maybe massage my leg if I catch another cramp.
Exactly.
But
medical assistance.
So what's gonna happen on Friday? I'm gonna wake up. Well, I have scheduled a hair appointment, so I'm gonna go get my hair done, so I look cute while screaming, and get my nails done too. So when I scream, I'll have some Christmas red, crimson and cream nails, and then I am going to make sure my apartment is decked out. I just showed Naya last night. I have these new light bulbs that change color to the command of my voice. So we're gonna put them on crimson and cream colors.
Now we're talking.
Yeah, we're gonna put them on crimson. They looked really nice last night.
That is
I had them on
awesome
Christmas
thing.
colors last night.
Yeah.
So they're gonna be on crimson and cream. So we're gonna do a nice white and red for the lights in my house, and then we're gonna sit down and be glued to the television.
Yes.
Unfortunately, with the Oklahoma Sooners, our problem is we never have a complete team.
Yeah.
We have, like you said, one of the best defenses in the country and one of the best defenses I've seen since I was started as an Oklahoma student in 2017 in the Baker Mayfield era. During that era, we had one of the best offenses in the country, terrible defense. Now we have, horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible. It was embarrassing. Now we have some of the best defense in the country, but our offense is wishy-washy, and that's my problem.
It did. It flipped. You went Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray, Jalen Hurts, all in a row.
Caleb Williams.
Spencer Rattler had a decent year in there. The offense, literally Oklahoma had the best offense in the country for half a decade.
Yes.
All of a sudden you get a great defense, and where did and Mateer started the year out really well. The quarterback for Oklahoma started the year out great. Kind of, he hurt his wrist or his hand?
He injured his finger. He had finger surgery on his
finger
throwing
surgery,
hand.
and then he came back, and he just hasn't been the same since he got back. Here's how razor thin this is. The odds on DraftKings, a 1.5 point spread. Alabama is favored by a point and a half. But a point and a half is anyone's game. I mean, that's essentially a toss-up at that point. So people think this game is going to be very close.
What is ESPN saying? Since that's
ESPN goes off DraftKings odds.
Okay.
Yeah, ESPN. I'm on ESPN. They use DraftKings odds. They got a little brand partnership there.
Yeah, and we're ABC, Disney, so ESPN is something we use as well.
Yep, we're right in there, and it's looking like 50 degrees in Norman, Oklahoma.
That's actually not bad for December, honestly.
That's not bad for December in Oklahoma. No. I feel like that could have been a lot worse.
Yes.
And that 8 p.m. start time, December 19th, and this game will be on ABC. Right here on ABC. So your station airing your team.
Yes.
This is your moment.
I need all the 13 News Now viewers to wear crimson and cream on Friday. And I'm an AKA, so I usually don't tell you to wear red, but wear red. Wear red.
You officially have permission from Taylor Stephenson to wear red this Friday. And I think it's the only game Friday. So all eyes will be on that Oklahoma team. And if you win that game, number one Indiana is waiting for you in the Rose Bowl, the most prestigious bowl game that we have here in college football.
And that's fine. I'm not too concerned. Honestly, it sounds crazy. I'm not too concerned about Indiana. I'm more concerned about Alabama. If we get through that, I feel like I can breathe, and I wouldn't be mad if we lost to Indiana, but I feel like we would have a better chance of winning against Indiana than Alabama.
And Naya's going to be there through the entire process to make sure you breathe the whole time.
Yes.
We're going to keep breathing no matter what happens, and you guys are going to be good to go. I feel good about that defense against an Alabama offense that has been struggling over the past 3-4 weeks.
If anything, like the past few games, our defense is going to win the game.
Yeah.
It's not going to be our offense unless the offense has a spectacular game, which is possible. It's possible. But our defense has been so consistent that if we win, it's most likely a defensive game.
Question.
Yes.
What is a Sooner? And listen, if you don't know,
I do.
We get the Hokie question all the time over at Virginia Tech.
Yeah.
What's a Hokie? And we've got this little saying where we say, "What's a Hokie? I am," which doesn't even mean anything, So I'm right there with you. If the Sooner definition's gotten a little muddied over the years,
it's not muddied. It's just not something that I particularly would like to subscribe to.
Oh, fair. Hey. Then don't even get that out of here. We'll cancel that question right now.
Okay. Unless you already asked the question. A Sooner is someone who is a pioneer. Unfortunately, they went sooner to the gold mine, like the gold areas. Remember the rush that they had, the gold rush? These were people who I don't think obeyed the rules. So they went sooner than everybody else, but they're technically just pioneers. That's literally what they are.
Okay. Well, first of all, great definition.
Yeah.
Great explanation. But that is a bummer.
But so if you see this Sooner schooner, that's actually like the covered cart that if you ever played like Oregon Trail and you had the covered cart, we have one of those. We have horses and they like run around the field when we have touchdowns. Yeah. So it's literally just pioneers. That's all they are, pioneers.
People ask like, why do you love college football? The NFL has better players. That's the type of thing that you just are not going to get in the pros that you just get from college football. Yeah. These traditions and the pageantry that goes along with it. And Oklahoma, one of the most storied programs that we have here in college football. Taylor, we'll be thinking about you.
Please,
we'll be rooting for you.
Other thing that we love too is the mascots, the traditions. We think that Bevo is a burger, and that's okay. That's
Who's
okay.
It's
Bevo is the Longhorn in Texas.
Oh.
That's their mascot. Have you ever seen the big Longhorn?
Yeah.
That is their mascot.
His name is Bevo.
His name is Bevo.
And Bevo's a burger.
And Bevo is a burger in Oklahoma.
I like how even you're in the playoff, you're playing Alabama, but it's like, I'm just going to take a shot at Texas real quick, if that's okay with everybody. I'm just going to throw a shot Texas's way. Okay. Congratulations on being in the playoff.
Thank you.
National television, Oklahoma Sooners.
ABC,
Taylor?
right
ABC.
here on Friday, 8 o'clock.
Yes. We're sending you all of our good vibes, all of our good karma directly to Oklahoma University. 13 News Now is an Oklahoma station for one night only to support Taylor Stephenson.
And, well, we also have another Oklahoma Sooner in this newsroom.
Oh, who do we got?
Sydney, our producer. She's also an Oklahoma Sooner.
Sydney, one of our newer producers, is an Oklahoma Sooner as well.
She is. Mm-hmm.
Okay, have you guys commiserated about...
We have not yet. Okay. We haven't really crossed paths that much. And we didn't also cross paths in college. I don't remember us crossing paths. So we'll have a lot to talk about.
All right. We got two Oklahoma Sooners here at 13 News Now, which means all eyes on that game. And then hopefully we'll have you on early next week to talk about a W.
And if we don't talk about the W, please don't mention it. Okay. I don't want to talk about it at all.
We'll act like it never happened. That is Taylor Stephenson, everybody. Meteorologist and part-time sports reporter when it comes to college football and the Oklahoma Sooners.
Yes, sir.
Great forecast and an even better overview of the college football playoff coming up this weekend. Don't forget, James Madison in that playoff as well.
Yes, they are.
Virginia, well represented. Now, let's do a brief reset here. It's 1:36 p.m., okay? We're talking here on December 15th. We're 10 days out from Christmas. We're about to start seeing a lot of stories about travel, a lot of stories about shopping. But for now, we're working our way through some major headlines that happened over the weekend and into today. Now, the first thing that we want to talk about, this is a story that we've been covering here on Live Impact News quite a bit, actually, in part because there's been a constant media presence in the courtroom during the trial of Brian Walsh. He's a Massachusetts man who was accused of killing and dismembering his wife back in 2023. As of today, found guilty on first-degree murder charges. Again, Brian Walsh found guilty on first-degree murder charges. His wife, Anna Walsh, went missing January 1st, 2023 at the age of 39. Now, last month, Brian Walsh pleaded guilty ahead of the trial to lying to police following her disappearance and improperly disposing of her body, though he denied he killed his wife and pleaded not guilty to murder. Well, he has now been found guilty of murder. Outside of the courtroom, after this guilty verdict, multiple speakers at the podium. We're going to listen in to those speakers right now.
We all set or what? Need a minute? Okay, everybody ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. I'm Michael Morrissey, the Norfolk District Attorney, and with me today, standing behind me, some of the most important people in the event you witnessed over the last few weeks and couple of years. I have members of the Cohasset State Police as well as my trial team are with me today. Did an outstanding job. I would be remiss if I didn't thank the jury. This is a very difficult case from the beginning. Take time out of their schedule to hear such days of evidence, complex evidence, and a difficult case, and to come up with the decision they did. Without the jurors, our system doesn't work, and my heartfelt thanks to each and every one of those who participated and the alternates who were chosen as well. I'd like to thank the Cohasset Police, the State Police, the Medical Examiner's Office, and the Crime Lab for their hard work. It was an incredible effort. If you think about what you saw during the trial, there was all sorts of forensic evidence. They left no stone unturned. They viewed 60 witnesses, almost 60 witnesses testified at trial, and they interviewed even more people. So while you saw a good part of what we had, it was only a small fraction of the time and effort that they put in to get that evidence. And they went to dumpsters, to landfills, to dumps as well, to transfer stations, department stores, lumber stores, CVS, just to gather all this evidence, which was critical in this case. And that effort should not be forgotten at how hard it was. For without those tools and the evidence that they provided us, that the trial team, which I had the utmost confidence, very competent, professional people, long-term prosecutors in the office, had great tools to work with, but they also great people in their own right. And they put on a very, very great case in a difficult setting. Now, we've seen other cases where we've not had a body, but this is the first one I can remember we've had a first-degree conviction, and I just want to thank them profusely. I know that a number of them passed up vacations, work holidays, and they know what's expected of them. We took the job to speak for victims, and they did one heck of a job speaking for Anna's family. And I just wanted to also to say we did hear from Anna's sister, and her comment was, justice has been served, and we agree wholeheartedly with her comments as well. But they never lost sight of that, and I'd like to just personally thank Greg Connor, Tracy Cusack, Ian Yaz, and we have the Cohasset Police, Harrison, and the State Police, and the head of my victim services, Kristen Collins. Also Laura McLaughlin, who's not here. She did a lot of the early work in the case, and so we had a great team, and I just wanted to profusely thank them. It's been a great day for us in the office. I'd ask Greg if he wants to say a word or two. Greg Connor.
Thank you, Michael. It was a great honor to work with Tracy and Ann on this trial, two of the finest lawyers I've ever got to know, and also to go against Kelly and Larry, who are extremely good lawyers. But I want to say thank you to our law enforcement partners, but in particular, one person who worked on this case day after day from the beginning was Sergeant Harrison Schmidt. When Cohasset lost one of their own, they stopped everything and tried to find this woman, and one person never gave up on that case, and it would be Sergeant Harrison Schmidt. Thank you very much, Michael.
Harrison is here today, so thank you, Harrison. So I just want to end and close by, let's not lose sight of the fact that Anna's 3 young children will be without a mother, and especially at this time, difficult time of year, and hopefully going in the future, that we all wish them a bright future going ahead. But let's remember in a special way the loss they suffered, and thank you all for coming.
What will happen with the children?
I am not going to answer any questions with that. That's for another.
Any more reaction from her mother or her family?
We just heard from the sister. That was the only, and so I passed that on. We heard that they called, and I passed that on to you.
Will they be making impact statements?
The judge, they're working with the trial team to schedule impact statements. I can't tell you in what form they're going to come in, but the opportunity has been extended, and I expect we will hear something, and they're working on that now.
Mr. Morsi, what are you looking for sentencing?
Excuse me?
For sentencing?
Well, there's a mandatory sentence of life, so, but there are other issues. They also developed other charges, as many of you have now heard, that there was a plea earlier to other charges, so that's being worked on. So you'll hear from the lawyers at the time of sentencing.
And Mr. Morsi, do you consider this a win after the Karen Reed trial?
Actually brought this to guilty? You have no body, circumstantial evidence. What do you think was the strongest part of the case that convinced the jury this was guilty?
I don't think there's any one thing. I think it was the combined effort of working together with our law enforcement partners, the ME and other professionals. The work that was done on the forensics, I think, was important. But actually, without that and without people explaining it in the courtroom, we'd have nothing. And I think they all did an awesome job. And I'm just going to say one other thing, because somebody mentioned, it's not about winning or losing. It's about getting the right answer. And this was the right answer. And so we don't look at cases as a wins or losses. We look at getting justice for someone. So let's not lose sight of that fact.
Walsh pled guilty to 2 charges ahead of time, right when jury selection was about to start. Did that change the way you approached this case and your attorneys? Obviously, they had been looking at 3 different charges. Now it was 1 murder charge.
Here's your chance. You can hear right from the
case was always going to be presented in the same way. The evidence was the evidence, and we wanted to make sure the jury had everything that they needed to make a determination. The change of plea was an interesting dynamic, but when it came down to it, we wanted to make sure the jury had all the facts.
Greg, what do you think it was? The online searches? Do you think it was the surveillance video? What do you think?
Or the emotional testimony?
I can't tell you. That would be a question for the jurors. We tried to give them all the information we had. We had it from multiple different factors, whether it be surveillance video, the text messages, the internet searches, but what we had was a very thorough investigation that gave the lawyers in this case an excellent chance to try and give the jury what they needed.
Were you surprised that he didn't testify? And what did you want to ask him on the stand?
You don't have enough time for that.
I think that's probably better not said.
Right.
Were you surprised that he didn't?
The judge was.
I think it's always up to the defendant to make that decision. I think it's the hardest decision a defendant can make. And so I'm sure he put a lot of thought into it. We were prepared that if he did testify, we had a number of questions we wanted to have answered, but we understand it's his right not to.
So, the question?
Yeah. Over the past couple of years, a lot has been made of your office and the handling of different cases. Do you hope what happened here today restores some of that perceived lack of faith the public has?
I don't know. One loss of a highly visible case determines what happens in our office. We handle cases all the way from the bottom to the top, and we treat them all the same. There's no such thing as a single important case. This was a critical case, and you saw on display some of the smartest people and some of the toughest workers and investigators who have always been with me. So I think that sometimes you don't like what a jury has to say, but that's our system of justice. You present a case to a jury, and you have to abide by. At least I do. I took a constitutional oath. So I would just say today, I clearly are much happier with the outcome today, and I'm very happy with the work that was done by the professionals who work both in law enforcement and the district attorney's office, and really, I couldn't be happier. So
a lot has been made of you personally, obviously, over the last couple of years. We haven't really had a chance to hear from you. How have you been doing, and what does this say today?
Well, the good or bad news is, having been in our office for a number of years in politics, unlike my time on Beacon Hill, I get to speak out. But many of you know that now as a district attorney, that if I speak out, that I interfere with an individual's right to a fair trial, then that obviously weighs heavily upon me. So I am now free to speak today on this trial with some limitations. And so not hearing from me, obviously, then I don't want to tip the jury or tip the scales and let those cases go forward without putting your thumb on the scales of justice. And I took the job to speak for victims, and we focus on victims. And that's what I'm going to continue to do through my tenure. So I just want to thank you all. I know this is a long period of time, and we have to come to the courthouse, and we do have some calls to make and try to reach out to some other family members and some other people, but thank you all, and hopefully it brings to a conclusion a very sad chapter in the history of Anna's family.
Thank you.
No, I'm not authorized to give any comments.
Thank you all.
Thank you very much.
All right, so there you have it. Outside of the courtroom after the Brian Walsh trial, after Brian Walsh was found guilty of first-degree murder. And so it appears as though, I guess there will be sentencing still to come, but that story has come to an end. A long saga that has been ongoing since January 1st of 2023. Nearly 3 years to the day. We're just about there, halfway through December. January 1st is in our sights. And after nearly 3 long years, Brian Walsh has been found guilty of first-degree murder in that case. The jury deliberated for nearly 4 hours on Friday without reaching a verdict, and jurors resumed deliberations this morning for approximately 2 more hours. In terms of details in the courtroom, Brian Walsh remained stoic as the guilty verdict was read, and his sentencing has been scheduled for Wednesday. It's a mandatory sentence of life in prison without the possibility of parole. So, Brian Walsh found guilty, and I'm just doing a quick glance to make sure I didn't leave out any major information that you may need to know. But a first-degree murder conviction. There was no body. Anna Walsh's body was never found. The lawyer who prosecuted this case, Norfolk County District Attorney Michael Morrissey, says that he does not have a recollection. He said this is the first case to his recollection where his office has gotten a first-degree murder conviction without having the victim's body. So that rare in and of itself here in this case. All right, now let's move on to our next story. Today there was a meeting in Washington, D.C. Secretary of State Marco Rubio meeting with the Prime Minister of Paraguay, and they also sat and spoke together in Washington, D.C. for a little bit of time. So we're going to listen in on that meeting, international relations continuing in Washington, D.C. with the Secretary of State. Let's go out to that pre-recorded press conference now.
Thank you all for being here today. Thank you to the Foreign Minister of Paraguay for joining us here today. This is a historic step in our partnership between our two countries. This status of forces agreement it demonstrates our shared commitment to security, regional security. The biggest threat in the Western Hemisphere that we face is the threat of transnational criminals networks, transnational terrorist networks. We've said this, if you see it in the document we put out just about 10 days ago in our national security strategy, if you look at the fundamental problem in the hemisphere, the most serious problem we have in our hemisphere is these transnational terrorist organizations who are not ideologically terrorists in many cases, but are financial and economic in their basis, but nonetheless are operating as terrorist organizations and threaten the stability and security of the region. It's a problem we see in multiple places, and we need strong partners to confront them. We need strong partners in the region that understand that that's the biggest threat in our hemisphere and are committed to working with us to confronting it. And we can do it in a way that also respects the sovereignty of our partner nations. So what we signed today is a status of forces agreement that allows us to formalize a partnership that already exists and that we want to build upon, that allows us to train together, that allows us to advance the transfer of equipment that they need for their own security, that allow us to share intelligence in real time, that allow us to operate together when necessary, and in the case of any contingencies. By the way, this includes having an opportunity to very quickly partner on humanitarian responses, be it to natural disasters or anything else. So we're excited for the ability to do this today. Paraguay is among our strongest allies in the world, but certainly in the region, and we want to continue to find concrete ways to work together and operate together. And by the way, this extends beyond the security realm. This is not just a security matter. This agreement is about security, but we also want to extend and expand our cooperation on the economic front. There's a lot of good things, positive things happening in Paraguay, a tremendous potential to make Paraguay a richer country and do so in partnership with American economic interests in a way that further binds our two countries together and makes us stronger. So we're very grateful for that. Quiero darle las gracias al ministro Lescano por estar con nosotros en el día de hoy para firmar este acuerdo, un acuerdo sumamente importante. La amenaza primordial que existe en el hemisferio es el terrorismo transnacional de diferentes carteles y otras operaciones que existen en la región, que realmente es una amenaza directa a la seguridad nacional de Estados Unidos, pero una amenaza a la seguridad nacional de nuestros aliados y países vecinos aquí en el hemisferio. Esto fue hecho claro en el documento de estrategia que salió hace solamente una semana, que dice muy claramente que la amenaza más seria que enfrentamos en esta región son estos grupos que en algunos países y en algunas regiones del hemisferio aún tienen más poder todavía que los propios gobiernos que existen ahí. Obviamente Paraguay no es uno de ellos, pero hay otros países que directamente el gobierno y la habilidad de gobernar su espacio y su territorio nacional es amenazado por la presencia de estos grupos armados, criminales y terroristas. Y enfrentarnos a esa amenaza es prioridad. Hoy firmamos este acuerdo, un acuerdo que respeta la soberanía de Paraguay, pero crea también la oportunidad de trabajar aún más acerca y conjunto para enfrentarnos a esta amenaza. Encima de eso, también crea la oportunidad de poder entrenar juntos, cooperar juntos, intercambiar información directa y rápidamente, y encima de eso también responder a cualquier caso humanitario que exista en el futuro, no simplemente en Paraguay, en la región, porque entonces posiblemente las operaciones sean del territorio de Paraguay junto con Paraguay, pero será una respuesta a un tema humanitario que exista en otra parte de la región, en otro país. Pero tener esa presencia ahí es sumamente importante. Y no solamente se limita a eso, obviamente este es un acuerdo de seguridad que firmamos hoy, pero aquí lo que existe es la oportunidad de cooperar también a nivel económico, donde existe muchas oportunidades para utilizar la potencia que tiene Paraguay económica para que Paraguay sea un país más rico, para que las personas, los ciudadanos de Paraguay tengan más oportunidades económicas de avanzar y a la misma vez hacerlo en cooperación con compañías e intereses norteamericanas que están dispuestos a invertir de manera responsable y de manera eficaz en la economía y ayudar también a crear empleos, trabajos, fuentes de ingresos, etcétera, para los ciudadanos de su país. Y encima de todo esto, seguir enseñando como no existe, tenemos uno de los aliados más fuertes que tenemos en el mundo y ciertamente en la región, es el país de Paraguay y su liderazgo político. Así, le doy la bienvenida y muchísimas gracias por estar aquí con nosotros en el día de hoy.
Thank you so much. Your Excellency, dear Secretary of State Marco Rubio, your commitment with our relation is quite important. 160 years of relation, diplomatic relation between Paraguay and the United States is going on the good way. This is the opportunity to express clearly our commitment to fight against the terrorist organization, the international or transnational crime organizations. We are very committed to the freedom, to the human rights, to the rule of law, and obviously with the freedom. The freedom is one of the most important steps in which we are working, because fighting against the terrorism is allowing our people to have a better life on freedom. This is an agreement that it will strengthen our relation not only on security, as you well expressed, dear Marco. It's going to allow us to work very close to building capacities, our security forces, and will allow us as well to be closer on our relation, on our strategy on development of security. Quiero agradecer expresamente, estimado Marco, al gobierno de Estados Unidos, al presidente Donald Trump. El presidente Santiago Peña está sumamente comprometido en seguir trabajando fuertemente en la relación de nuestros países, pero también en objetivos compartidos que, como este, nos proponen seguir luchando contra el crimen transnacional organizado, seguir trabajando fuertemente contra el tráfico de drogas, contra el tráfico de personas, contra la corrupción, que son todos aspectos relevantes. Pero por sobre todas las cosas, como decía antes, por la libertad de nuestra gente. Lo que está en riesgo es no solamente la seguridad, es la libertad de las personas, y eso es lo que queremos asegurar totalmente, y este es un paso muy importante para ese propósito. Muchas gracias.
Muchas gracias. Vamos a firmar.
Okay, so again, that was Secretary of State Marco Rubio meeting with the Minister of Foreign Affairs for Paraguay, and at the White House today, doing some of that in public, holding at least a brief media availability as they go over a couple of things, as you can still see on your screen right next to me, as they sign a couple of different things. Let's see. Let's try to make sure that we're giving you all the information that you need here. Yes, this is what they are signing. I wanted to make sure I got the language right here. They are signing the Status of Forces Agreement, or SOFA, and that will be an agreement between the United States and Paraguay. The agreement establishes a clear framework for the presence and activities of U.S. military and Department of War civilian personnel in Paraguay. This is the state.gov page right here. Facilitating bilateral and multinational training, humanitarian assistance, disaster response, and other shared security interests. Secretary Rubio emphasized that the SOFA agreement reflects the United States' commitment to coordinate closely with Paraguay on regional security and Paraguay's growing importance as a regional leader and champion for security in our hemisphere. So that is what the genesis of the meeting that we just saw on our stream here at the White House. I apologize for being a little disjointed as we come back online here, as we are back in the studio talking through some different things that are going on today. Paraguay, right in the middle, kind of almost right, a very central location in South America, and now signing an official agreement with the United States that advances some of that partnership and a framework for the presence of U.S. military in Paraguay. Okay, so let's move on to another headline of the day. This was a story that first popped up yesterday, and, well, basically it's a tragic day in Hollywood, as one of the mainstays of show business in a bunch of different roles, Rob Reiner and his wife, Michelle Singer, both found killed in their Los Angeles home on Sunday. And the couple's son, Nick Reiner, has been arrested for murder, according to police. Now, Nick Reiner, 32 years old, was taken into custody Sunday night. He's being held on $4 million bail, and this came hours after the couple was found stabbed to death in their Brentwood home, according to law enforcement sources. And again, Nick Reiner arrested for murder, according to police. As director and actor Rob Reiner and his wife Michelle Singer found killed in their Los Angeles home on Sunday, and they were stabbed to death in that home. And their son, again, police say their son has been arrested and is being held on $4 million bail, has been taken into custody and is being held on $4 million bail. So a tragic day for Hollywood, the community of entertainment, and for the Reiner family, an unspeakable amount of devastation, heartbreak, and sadness to hear the details surrounding this passing. Now, Rob Reiner was a director, a producer, and an actor. He directed The Princess Bride, When Harry Met Sally, Stand By Me, This Is Spinal Tap, A Few Good Men. I mean, that is as strong of a resume as there is when it comes to comedy movies, and then even beyond comedy with A Few Good Men and Stand By Me. I mean, that is, those are some stone cold classics for certain generations. He was also an actor on the show All in the Family. That's where he got his start, or at least his initial recognition in Hollywood. And that show was massive during its heyday. And Reiner was born to a Hollywood family. He grew up in Los Angeles and then, of course, became a mainstay in the entertainment industry. And when you walk a path like that, obviously you become well connected throughout the town. And so a very, very difficult day for the entertainment community, the entertainment family. The Reiner family released a statement. It is with profound sorrow that we announce the tragic passing of Michelle and Rob Reiner. We are heartbroken by this sudden loss, and we ask for privacy during this unbelievably difficult time. Unbelievably difficult time indeed. There you see his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and it looks like some have laid flowers at the Rob Reiner star there as a means of sort of memorializing him, some putting flowers on his stars. This says, according to ABC News, the Reiner's daughter found her parents' bodies on Sunday. So again, with every detail that we uncover here, this story just gets sadder and sadder and more devastating as we go through. Now, I do believe that if we take our live shot on one here, Naya, that is an exterior of the LA County Jail, which is where Nick Reiner is being held. Again, Nick Reiner, the 32-year-old son of Rob Reiner, who has been taken into custody following this incident. A neighbor told ABC News that actors Billy Crystal and Larry David were seen at the house after police arrived. And the Reiner family owns two houses across the street from each other. Rob and his wife lived in one where they were found, and then the daughter with kids lived in another. And of course, the daughter, again, according to sources as told to ABC News, is the one who discovered her parents after having been killed. Rob Reiner was 78 years old. Michelle Singer was 68 years old. They were married in 1989. They have 3 children. Nick, of course, who we've already mentioned, and then Jake and Romy. And it is, as you go through and just, again, these details, the fact that the son has been taken into custody, they were killed in their own home, stabbed to death. I mean, it's a shocking story. Anytime the people of this name recognition pass away, it's a story, the details of this, devastating and very, very tragic for anyone, friends, family, especially of the Reiners. Now, again, what we're showing you right now is the LA County Jail. This is a live look outside the LA County Jail where Nick Reiner is apparently being held, according to information that we're getting from our ABC hub. So we have the memorial on the Walk of Fame, and then the LA County Jail where Nick Reiner is being held. And of course, we'll see as more details come to light here. California Governor Gavin Newsom addressed Reiner's death, saying he is heartbroken by the tragic loss. Again, from Governor Gavin Newsom. His boundless empathy made his stories timeless, teaching generations how to see goodness and righteousness in others and encouraging us to dream bigger, Newsom said in a statement. Rob will be remembered for his remarkable filmography and for his extraordinary contribution to humanity. Former President Barack Obama and former First Lady Michelle Obama also releasing a statement. Michelle and I are heartbroken by the tragic passing of Rob Reiner and his beloved wife, Michelle. Rob's achievements in film and television gave us some of our most cherished stories on screen. So, California Governor Gavin Newsom with a statement talking about Rob Reiner, former President Barack Obama with a statement on the death of Rob Reiner. We also have heard via social media from current President Donald Trump about the death of Rob Reiner. And we'll go through that statement now as well. A different tone than we've heard so far from others who have released statements regarding Rob Reiner, as far as we can tell just from reading off the page. But we'll go through this here. It's rather lengthy, but we've got time, so I'll go through the whole thing here. Again, this is from President Donald Trump. A very sad thing happened last night in Hollywood. Rob Reiner, a tortured and struggling but once very talented movie director and comedy star, has passed away together with his wife Michelle, reportedly due to the anger he caused others through his massive, unyielding, and incurable affliction with a mind-crippling disease known as Trump derangement syndrome, sometimes referred to as TDS. He was known to have driven people crazy by his raging obsession of President Donald J. Trump and his obvious paranoia, reaching new heights as the Trump administration surpassed all goals and expectations of greatness. And with the golden age of America upon us, perhaps like never before, may Rob and Michelle rest in peace. This morning at 9:51 a.m., Donald Trump releasing that post on Truth Social under his presidential account. So that is President Trump's remarks on the matter. In terms of, the causes behind this tragedy, any reasoning that may have led to the death of Rob Reiner and Michelle Singer, his wife, we have not gotten much in terms of our official reporting here from ABC or other sources about any reasoning behind the death of Rob Reiner. But there you have statements from Gavin Newsom, Barack Obama, and then their Donald Trump on Truth Social. So let's see if we can find any more information before we move on here. LA Police Department detectives investigating an apparent homicide. So CNN reporting the label of homicide. Other than that, I think we've given you all the information that we can here. Maria Shriver, the former First Lady of California, also penning a tribute to Rob Reiner and Michelle Singer, saying she had dinner with the couple just last week. I loved Michelle and Rob Reiner. They were among my closest friends. We raised our kids together from mommy and me on up. We laughed together, we cried together, we played together, we dreamed together. She said she hoped the couple will be remembered as talented, kind, fun, loving, good, patriotic people. So a number of different tributes and other statements coming in on the death of Rob Reiner. It's a story that we'll continue to follow, especially as things develop in terms of the investigation. Again, and here former President Joe Biden with remarks on the legacy of Rob Reiner. Jill, of course, the former First Lady, Jill and I send our deepest condolences to everyone whose lives were touched by Rob Reiner and Michelle Singer. Reiner's extraordinary contributions and Michelle Singer Reiner's extraordinary contributions. We take solace in knowing their work will live on for generations to come. Joe Biden posted that on his X account. And the LA District Attorney's Office has not yet determined any criminal charges in the deaths of Rob Reiner and his wife. But again, Nick Reiner, the son of Rob and Michelle, has been booked on suspicion of murder, according to the Los Angeles police chief. So again, just a really tragic story that continues to new details continue to come to light as this story just gets more and more tragic as we learn more about what may have happened and as the investigation into these deaths continue. So that is your update on a major breaking story from yesterday, and one that we'll continue to follow as any sort of proceedings that are to come take place. Okay, for now, let's move forward here. Let's move on to some of the other headlines today. Let's look in on an event that happened earlier today. This was a press conference involving law enforcement. It will take me just 1 second to find sort of the official wording surrounding this press conference. It was in regards to a task force that made a major announcement, or an announcement of some kind. Let's see. This is officials giving an update on some arrests that were made in the Joint Terrorism Task Force investigation. So we are going to go now to this recording from earlier today. Again, with officials giving an update on arrests in the Joint Terrorism Task Force investigation. The FBI logo, the Department of Justice, on the seal behind the podium there. You see the American flag and the California flag. Let's go out to this recording from earlier today.
Okay, I think we have everybody. Good morning, everyone. My name is Akil Davis, Assistant Director in Charge of FBI Los Angeles. I'm going to announce our speakers in order. It will be First Assistant United States Attorney Bill Asaley, myself, then Chief of Police Jim McDonald, Sheriff Robert Luna, and then Chief of Police for Palm Springs Police Department. So without further, I'm going to turn over to the United States Attorney.
Thank you. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I'm Bill Asaley. I'm the head of the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Central District of California. Over the weekend, my office, along with the FBI, arrested members of a far-left, anti-government domestic terror cell who self-identify as the Turtle Island Liberation Front. The individuals were arrested on Friday, December 12th, when the group attempted to construct and detonate IEDs out in the desert. In addition to the arrests, we executed several search warrants throughout the nation. I want to thank our partners at the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Western District of Louisiana, U.S. Attorney Zach Keller, and the U.S. Attorney for the District of Massachusetts, Lee Foley, for providing valuable assistance over the weekend with a very complex and coordinated search warrants that were done. The charges we are announcing today stem from the defendants and their co-conspirators' detailed, coordinated plot to bomb multiple U.S. companies on New Year's Eve. Thankfully, that plot has now been foiled thanks to the hard work of the FBI and the Department of Justice. This investigation was initiated in part due to the September 2025 executive order signed by President Trump to root out left-wing domestic terror organizations in our country, such as Antifa and other radical groups like the Turtle Island Liberation Front. As the president made clear, recent attacks across the country have highlighted the grave threats posed by these far-left domestic terror groups. These threats are sophisticated, organized campaigns of targeted intimidation, radicalization, threats, and violence designed to silence opposing speech, limit political activity, and direct policy outcomes, and prevent the proper functioning of a democratic society. In direct response to the President's order, the Attorney General issued a memo to our offices implementing and mobilizing federal law enforcement to prioritize and counter domestic terrorism and political violence investigations. As a result of those directives, we built this case. Both my office and the FBI have invested substantial resources into investigating and charging these organizations. And if anyone does not believe that members of these groups are organized, sophisticated, and extremely violent, let me tell you about the plot in this case. The four defendants are Audrey Carroll, 30 years old. The pictures, I think we have them somewhere. We'll put them up here. Audrey Carroll, 30 years old. Zachary Aaron Page, 32. Dante Gaffield, 24. And Tina Lay, 41. Each from the Los Angeles area. Each is charged with conspiracy and possession of an unregistered destructive device in violation of Title 26 United States Code Section 5861D. We intend to file additional charges in the coming weeks as we finish reviewing the evidence. The defendants are all radical anti-government members of the Turtle Island Liberation Front, which according to their own social media is an anti-capitalist, anti-government movement that calls for their associates to rise up and fight back against capitalism. One of the leaders of the organization, defendant Audrey Carroll, helped organize an even more radical faction of the group called the Order of the Black Lotus. Each of the defendants charged today was also a member of the Order of the Black Lotus. Carroll described this group to her co-conspirators as everything radical. As detailed in the federal complaint, which we will now make public, in November 2025, defendant Carroll created a detailed bombing plot to use explosive devices to attack 5 or more locations across Southern California on this upcoming New Year's Eve. Carroll and her co-defendant, Zachary Page, led the effort to obtain and build the bombs and to recruit others to join in their plot. Carroll's bomb plot was explicit. It included a step-by-step instructions to build IEDs or improvised explosive devices and listed multiple targets across Orange County and Los Angeles. Carroll also made clear her desires. She said, quote, "What we are doing will be considered a terrorist act." Carroll and Page also discussed plans for follow-up attacks after their bombings, which included plans to target ICE agents and vehicles with pipe bombs. Carroll stated that those plans would, quote, "take some of them out and scare the rest." Throughout early December, the co-conspirators discussed their plans during an in-person meeting in Los Angeles and through an encrypted messaging application. As part of the plan, the 4 defendants plan to build test bombs in the Mojave Desert. You're going to hear more details about the bombs they intended to build and how the operation went down in the desert here shortly from the FBI Assistant Director in charge. In preparation for the plan, the co-conspirators purchased multiple pieces of bomb-making materials and discussed their travel plans to the desert. Last Friday, December 12th, the defendants took a significant step to carry out their plans. They traveled to the remote campsite, which you're going to see some video of, in the desert, and they began unloading their bomb-making materials to assemble and test the bombs. They had everything they needed to make an operational bomb at that location, and they were subsequently arrested by the FBI before they could build a functional explosive device. Shortly after the defendants were taken into custody, the FBI executed multiple search warrants, including at the defendants' Southern California residence and other locations throughout the country. I'll highlight some of the items found during those searches over the weekend. For example, in Carroll's residence, law enforcement found multiple posters and materials associated with Turtle Island Liberation Front, including posters stating, quote, "Death to America, long live Turtle Island and Palestine," and, quote, "Death to ICE, Turtle Island Liberation Front." In Page's residence, law enforcement found a copy of the detailed bomb attack plan. This case is another reminder about the dangers that radicalized Antifa-like groups pose to public safety and the rule of law. Through the tireless work of our prosecutors in my office and our law enforcement partners, which you will hear from today, we disrupted this terror plot before buildings were demolished or innocent people were killed. But this is not the end of our work. My office is committed to extinguishing the far-left terror threats that we face and will continue to work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The 4 defendants arrested will make their initial appearance this afternoon at the federal court in downtown Los Angeles. They are each considered innocent until proven guilty. I will now turn it over to the Assistant Director in charge of the FBI LA office, Akil Davis.
Good morning. Again, my name is Akil Davis. I'm the Assistant Director in charge of the FBI's Los Angeles Division. As we're all aware, we've had a busy weekend in this country and abroad with bad news incidents one after another. Today, we are announcing a major victory in our collective effort to protect the American people. The FBI's Joint Terrorism Task Force intercepted a scheme by members of a violent extremist group we believed determined to detonate explosives at multiple businesses on New Year's Eve. Last Friday, the FBI arrested 4 of those subjects near 29 Palms in San Bernardino County. while they planned and rehearsed their attack. The 4 subjects are members of a radical faction of the Turtle Island Liberation Front, TILF, a violent, homegrown anti-government group. The subject arrested envisioned planting backpacks with improvised explosive devices to be detonated at multiple locations in Southern California, targeting U.S. companies. These bombs were to blow up at the same time on midnight this New Year's Eve. The plan stated that the IEDs would be complex pipe bombs. It included instructions on how to manufacture the bombs and contained guidance on how to avoid leaving evidence behind that could be traced back to them. Our investigation uncovered evidence in that the group would test the explosives in the desert. And we're going to show footage of that here in a second. We learned that the alleged co-conspirators had recently started acquiring precursor chemicals and other items necessary to accomplish this task. In recent days, the alleged co-conspirators discussed plans to travel to the desert on the 12th to detonate the explosives. Knowing this, the FBI's JTTF and the FBI Los Angeles field office staged multiple SWAT teams, special agent bomb technicians, our evidence response team, along with the FBI's elite hostage rescue team in the desert to disrupt this plan before any harm could occur. Because of this, we were able to disrupt their plan. All 4 group members were taken into custody without incident. The TILF Instagram account publicly posts content that advocates for violence against United States officials. A recent post called for a revolution and asked for supporters to organize and be ready. The FBI, as you have seen here, can also organize and be ready. We could not have accomplished these arrests without the exceptional assistance from our partners on the Joint Terrorism Task Force. I specifically want to thank the following agencies, as you see up here today: the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department, the Los Angeles Police Department, the Palm Springs Police Department, along with the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department. I also want to recognize the following FBI field offices as this investigation crossed the entire country: the New Orleans Division, the Buffalo Division, Indianapolis Division, and the Boston Division, who, as you all know, have had their hands full this weekend. In fact, an additional was arrest by our partners at FBI New Orleans in support of this investigation. I will now turn it over to the Los Angeles Police Chief, Jim McDonald.
Well, thank you, and good morning, and we appreciate you being here today. Los Angeles Police Department is proud to stand alongside our federal, state, and local partners today to announce the arrest stemming from a coordinated domestic terror plot. The case underscores the persistent threat posed by extremist groups and individuals, as well as the critical need for law enforcement agencies to remain vigilant in protecting our communities. The successful disruption of this plot is a powerful testament to the strength of our unified response, driven by the collaboration and tireless efforts of the FBI's Joint Terrorism Task Force, along with our allied agencies. Together, we have prevented a potential tragedy and reaffirmed our shared commitment to safeguarding our communities. I want to personally thank the dedicated men and women from every agency involved. Their relentless work over the past several days has ensured that those responsible were apprehended swiftly and safely and without harm to our neighborhoods. Thank you. I'm going to call up Sheriff of Los Angeles County, Robert Luna.
Well, good morning, everybody, and thank you for being here to cover this, what I believe is a very, very important story for our community. This successful operation was a result of quick, proactive investigative work, and I want to emphasize strong collaboration. And ADIC, Akil Davis, mentioned it and gave credit to all the law enforcement here in Southern California. It is better here, it always has been, than anywhere else in the country, and we're very proud to be part of the Joint Terrorism Task Force. For us at the Sheriff's Department, we've been part of it since after 9/11. Their ability to share intelligence across multiple agencies, investigating threats like this one, is second to none anywhere else. The way we coordinate with partner agencies and act quickly was critical to the success of this operation. And like I said before, there's no other area like here in LA County with our partnership that has been here for years with the FBI and LAPD and the other law enforcement agencies around us. Since this threat was uncovered last week, our Sheriff's Task Force officers and intelligence analysts working closely with our law enforcement partners have been working around the clock to verify information, identify targets, and piece together this plot that you've heard described. Their strong investigative efforts, sharp situational awareness, and rapid response ensured that this threat was stopped before it ever had a chance to be carried out. I'm incredibly proud of the professionalism and dedication shown by the men and women who worked tirelessly to bring this threat to an end before it could cause harm to anybody in our community. To our community, I know hearing about these incidents like this can be unsettling, especially in the light of the recent Brown University mass shooting and the Sydney, Australia terrorist attack. But today serves as a powerful reminder that strong collaboration between federal, state, and local law enforcement can prevent violence before it occurs. As we enter the holiday season, a time when families and friends come together across traditions, cultures, and beliefs, this incident is a stark reminder of the importance of vigilance and to be prepared at all times. Vigils whose goal is to divide us, to instill fear, and to target the very diversity that makes our country strong. I want to be very clear, what you see here, this investigative work and the follow-up that's been done shows that they will not succeed. Our community's diversity is our strength, and protecting every member of our community is our primary duty. Whether you are celebrating Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, New Year's, or simply gathering with loved ones, you deserve to feel safe. We are committed to ensuring that safety today and every day. We remain dedicated to protecting our entire community through ongoing intelligence gathering and threat assessments, strengthening partnerships across all of our agencies, engaging with the public to promote awareness, vigilance, and resilience. And finally, I encourage everyone to stay alert, trust your instincts, and report suspicious activity. And as we always say in law enforcement, if you see something, read something, or say something, your awareness, your eyes, and ears can help us protect the entire community as we did in this incident. I will now introduce the police chief of the Palm Springs Police Department, Andy Mills.
Well, good morning, and first of all, thank you so much, Assistant Director Davis, for the spectacular job that the FBI did on this case. We were just in a very supportive role only, making sure that the FBI had what they needed in the desert to execute their mission. But on a larger perspective, I just want our community to know that this gives me hope. It gives me hope because of the unified effort of all of law enforcement, from the Sheriff's Office to LAPD, San Bernardino Sheriffs, and the FBI working together to make sure that people like this are removed from the community so they can be prosecuted by the U.S. Attorney's Office, to make sure that all of us can live in peace. And this is what our mission is to make sure that there's hope in all of our communities. So thank you very much for the spectacular job that the A-team showed up and did.
Yeah, I just want to reiterate that obviously there's some disagreements amongst our agencies over things like immigration enforcement, but when it comes to other areas of law enforcement where it matters to keep the public safe, whether that's protecting the girls on Figueroa Street or the Palm Springs investigation, there is no gap in the cooperation between the federal government and local government, and we do thank the sheriff, the police chiefs for your valuable assistance. It would be very difficult for us to do a lot of what we do without their assistance, so I do want to thank you, each and every one of you. With that, we'll open it up to a few questions. Oh, we're going to play the video. All right, play the video. And this is, the video is, do you want to describe the video?
Yeah, I'll describe the video. So, as I mentioned in my talking points, on December 12th, a group of individuals, again, members of this anti-government group, traveled out to the desert to test their explosive devices. They had precursor chemicals there, and they were going to create these bombs in the desert. What they are starting to do is put their chemicals and wares and the components out on the table there. This footage that you're watching is from our surveillance plane, and then what happened after this is the Los Angeles FBI SWAT team, along with the FBI's hostage rescue team, moved in and arrested all 4 subjects without incident.
So now we'll take some questions. Yeah, we're not naming the victim companies, but I'll generally describe them as logistics centers. You can think of like Amazon-type logistics centers, but we're not naming the specific companies at this time. There were at least 5 locations that they intended to target within Orange County and Los Angeles County. Again, we're not giving out the specific sites, but they were willing and wanting to do more if they could recruit more members to their radical efforts there.
You mentioned the arrest in New Orleans. Do you guys think that there are other people involved? Or you mentioned some other locations?
There are definitely more members to this group. As far as who was specifically involved in this New Year's Eve terror plot, we believe we've arrested all the members who were specifically involved in that particular plot. We did execute search warrants to people who are also part of this group. As we review that evidence, if we determine that there are any other individuals who knew about this or provided any assistance, we will obviously be charging them as well. Person arrested in Louisiana is not directly tied to this incident, but he is a member of this group. And when they executed the search warrant out there, he posed a great threat to the agents. He threatened the agents, and so that's why he's under arrest.
Do you believe you thwarted what would have happened on New Year's Eve, or do you think there's any others that are still planning to go forward with something?
Well, obviously, the FBI has a very robust national security investigators. They look out for domestic terrorism as well as international terrorism. Do you want to talk more about your activities with the Joint Terrorism Task Force?
So this investigation is ongoing, as the United States just stated. Members of this group or associates of this group or any collaborators in this group, we are looking at as a result of this investigation. To answer your question, we do believe that we have disrupted this plot for New Year's Eve, but like I said, the investigation is ongoing.
As far as we're always looking. We're always looking for other people who might be plotting or doing this. And let this be a warning. If you can avoid being detected by the FBI or the federal government, if you think you're going to be able to design one of these plots, think again. We have very sophisticated, experienced agents, and we will find you, and we will infiltrate you, and we will arrest you, as we did with this group. They didn't see it coming, and each and every one of them is right now in custody. So we're very proud of the work done by the agents. Yes, any other questions?
The names are done, the situations are done. What's the relationship? The name of the operation.
Yeah, just the name.
It's just a name.
Looks like one of the names is missing from the people who were arrested. Are you able to talk about it?
Yeah, why is that name off? I think that was a... That's Page. Zachary Aaron Page, 32. Okay. Any other questions?
Yeah, if they wanted that.
Did you want it?
Sure.
Yeah, go ahead.
Good morning, everybody. It's Captain Mike Land from Media Relations Division. As I discussed earlier with you guys, the chief has agreed to give you an update on the tragedy at the Reiner family home. Just understand this is based on some updates of the tireless work of our investigators from last night and through the night. We're still at the very early stage of this investigation, but again, Chief's prepared to answer any questions and give you a brief update. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Captain Bland. As he said, the information at this stage is still limited, but I'll share what we can. First of all, our hearts go out to the family and friends of the Reiners' tragic incident. Yesterday at December 14th, about 3:40 in the afternoon, LAPD responded to a residence, the residence of Rob and Michelle Reiner, located in West Los Angeles Division. At that location, they found 2 deceased adults, a male and a female. Through the night, working with the coroner's office, they were able to identify them definitively as Rob and Michelle Reiner. We have our Robbery Homicide Division handling the investigation. They worked throughout the night on this case and were able to take into custody Nick Reiner, a suspect in this case. He was subsequently booked for murder and is being held on $4 million bail. Pretty much that's what I can share at this point, but again, a very, very tragic incident.
Can you talk about, I know Deputy Hamilton talked about the search warrant and how important that was because of something inside. Can you talk about where that played a role in this and what you guys needed in order to gain access?
Yeah, you know, we use search warrants to be able to further our investigation, as you know, on all of these cases. I wouldn't be in a position to talk specifically about what the object of the search warrant was, but it's a critical piece of our investigations to be able to ensure down the road a prosecution. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Okay, so multiple updates there in that press conference. Of course, there was the story of thwarting the potential attack that was going to come in Los Angeles, and then an update at the very end on the Rob Reiner situation once again. So a press conference touching on a number of issues there earlier today. Now we're going to go to a round table now. We're going to go out to Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr., and a roundtable on Lyme disease that is happening right now. Lyme disease commonly transferred through ticks and can be a disease with major implications for your health. So let's go out to that roundtable now and listen in.
Sustained from spider bites while sleeping in my bed. And just for the sake of brevity for these introductions, I won't go into the full details of all that. But I would like the opportunity during this roundtable to, paint the four corners of the problems, because after 30 years, they're pretty apparent to me now, and to hopefully present some potential paths forward of how we can get this situation taken care of.
Thank you, Dr. Phillips. Hello, my name is Samuel Sofio. Hello, my name is Samuel Sofio. I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio. I'm a junior at Cedarville University. Secretary Kennedy, thank you for the honor of being at this table, and thank you all for caring about those afflicted with Lyme disease. My story reflects many across this nation. In 2020, I became chronically ill. My parents, who watched me sprint across the soccer fields, now watched as I struggled to go on walks.
I'm so sorry.
Oh.
I'm still
on. Oh, no. All right. My story reflects many across this nation. In 2020, I became chronically ill. My parents, who watched me sprint across soccer fields, now watched as I struggled to go on walks, to take deep breaths, and even just to function without pain and fatigue. My parents drained their hard-earned money with doctor appointments, blood tests, heart monitors, and imaging. The medical system tossed us back and forth, leaving us at the end of the road broken, with misdiagnoses, little in our wallets, and no answers. If it wasn't for my relationship with Christ, I would have lost hope. I've been fighting Lyme disease for more than 5 years. Currently, I'm being treated by Lyme Layer provider Carrie Hodges. I'm very thankful for just the blessing she's been in my life. She works with long COVID doctor Jordan Vaughn. As you all know, patients need better and affordable testing. We need insurance to cover our treatments because we pay out of pocket. Thankfully, organizations like Limelight help patients with this. Lastly, one Lyme sufferer said, "Let me know if you find something that works." Some patients spend years sinking all of their money into treatment, but they don't get better. We are hoping for more research to know what works. Secretary Kennedy, I know that you understand the impact of Lyme disease, and I want to say thank you, and thank you all. I know that you all are fighting for us and are dedicated to gold standard care. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Olivia Goodrow. I'm 21 years old, and I have been battling tick-borne diseases for 14 years now. It took... Yes, I can. Better? Wonderful. I'm 21 years old, and I've been battling tick-borne diseases for 14 years now. It took 51 doctors and 18 months for me to just be diagnosed with Lyme disease. Then it took another 3 years and 4 more doctors to be diagnosed with 5 other co-infections. At 12 years old, I started the Live Lyme Foundation. to give money to kids to afford their Lyme disease medication, to give funding, and to promote awareness. Starting at 13, I began developing apps, including Tick Tracker, the Long Haul Tracker, and Tickmojis, which I will talk about later. Through Live Lyme, I've hosted 6 scientific international summits that have had participants from over 50 different countries. I've also written my memoir, But She Looks Fine, From Illness to Activism, which details how I turned Lyme disease into limeade. Lastly, I am a junior at UCLA, and I am working with renowned scientists on rapid diagnostics for tick-borne diseases. Secretary Kennedy, thank you so much for inviting me here today, and thank you all here for the incredible work that you do, and I look forward to making history.
Hi, thank you so much for convening this meeting. My name is Lyndon Hu. I'm an infectious disease physician at Tufts University, so I think I'm probably part of that ivory tower. But I will be the first to admit that we have not, in the 25 years I've been doing basic science, patient treatment, and clinical science, been able to come up with satisfactory answers for patients and cures. And I think we need to do better. I will say, though, that I am probably the most excited I've ever been during my career at the opportunities we have to actually solve this right now. Science, that's thanks a lot to people in this room, at this table, and also in the audience here, in terms of bringing attention, focus, and funding to this problem. And I think we're at a very unique point in science where we now have the tools to do things. Traditionally, we've done science, in very precise, elegant ways, looking at one potential hypothesis at a time. But now, with the technology that we have, we can do what's called unbiased science and look at all the hypotheses at once and have the patient and the patient data tell us what's the important thing to be looking at. So to that end, I'll just mention 2 things that we're involved in at Tufts. One is an NIH-funded study to enroll 1,000 patients with Lyme disease so that we can put them through all these what are called multi-omic tests and come to some answers with that. But one of the unique things that we're doing with that study is that we are actually using clinicians on the front lines and as our research centers. And so they're the ones who are involved in bringing the patients to us, enrolling them, and being involved in telling us what they're seeing. So we've learned a lot through that trial, and we're only in our first year in terms of how to work with clinicians, busy clinicians who are not prepared to do research, and what kinds of support we need to give them to be able to do the best kinds of research. The other thing I'll just mention quickly is that we're also involved in a drug repurposing study. We've just completed screening 50,000 compounds against Lyme disease, many of which we found active are actually very common, safe medications. I'm not sure where we're going to go with those eventually, but the idea is that we are now taking that. We're on our way to 100,000, and we are going to take that, feed that with our collaborators into a machine learning artificial intelligence model where we can then screen virtual libraries of hundreds of billions of compounds quickly to identify the parts of the ones that we actually screen physically that are the most active, because repurposed drugs are not designed for treatment of Lyme disease. But if we can figure out what makes them active using machine learning, we can develop better drugs for that. So I'll stop there, and thank you so much for convening this.
Thank you, Dr. Hu. Thank you very much. I'm Morgan Griffith. I represent the 9th District of Virginia, which is southwest, western, and parts of central Virginia. Needless to say, we are a hot spot, like so many others, for tick-borne illnesses, and cases have been increasing. Lyme disease is devastating, and Virginia Tech in my district is doing some research to understand the prevalence and gather more information into Lyme disease and other tick-borne illnesses. I would be remiss, and I think we all agree, that Chris Smith has just done amazing work, and I'm hopeful that we can get his Hagen Tick Act through the Energy and Commerce Committee. As chairman of the Health Subcommittee, I will do everything I can to get it on there early. We got a little slowed down by the shutdown, but hopefully we'll get this done next year. That's important for those who want to use a vaccine. FDA is working on clinical trials on a vaccine for Lyme disease. For what that's worth, we'll see what the studies show. The repurposing of existing medical compounds, any way that I can help on that, that makes perfect sense. Use things that we already have tested on the human body as being safe, and let's go forward with that. I will tell you, and I'll switch gears just a little bit. You mentioned alpha-gal. I will tell you that too, it's not, in most cases, it's not nearly as devastating. But good doctors out there in the field, people paying attention to what's going on. I have long had allergies. So I have my, at that time, infant, relatively young son in with me seeing the allergist. And my allergist, Dr. Saju Eben out of Roanoke, Virginia, said to me, have you been having any problems lately? I said, well, I've been following my diet strictly. I'm not eating the things I'm not supposed to eat, but I keep getting an upset stomach and I can't figure out why. This would be about 2010, maybe 2011. He says, let me do a test. Sure enough, I have alpha-gal syndrome. Now, I have a very mild case. It causes some stomach upset. But as we had discussions over the years, he told me that there was a case that he was aware of, I'm not sure it was his, where a lady kept breaking out in hives, going into anaphylaxis, and it turned out to be dryer sheets with beef tallow. So some people have severe reactions. Mine, it's annoying, but it's not severe. I kept telling my other son, who's a teenager, that he needed to be careful going out in the woods. You mentioned that, Mr. Secretary. He's big on hunting and fishing and bow hunting, you name it, he does it. I said, don't wear your shorts, wear long pants, protect yourself. And so I'm kind of excited that you mentioned we've got to get word out there on prevention as well for all of these tick-borne diseases. Fortunately, he has not contracted any of the diseases as of this date, but he wouldn't listen to Dad. But when his best friend came down with alpha-gal, all of a sudden, I haven't said anything, but I noticed he's wearing the long pants now, Mr. Secretary. What Dad's experience didn't help him, but his best friend did. But these are things that we can work on as we go forward. And last but not least, since we've got a little bit of a platform here, I'm going to mention Revivicor. I'm kind of excited, and I'm going to, the poor dog can't wag his own tail. I'm going to wag my tail a little bit on this one. I have no interest in Revivicor for those who worry about it. I don't own any stock. It's a company that does medicinal stuff. It does organs. In order to transplant organs from pigs and cows, they had to take out the alpha-gal protein genetically from those animals. And I suggested to them in early 2020 that they look into having their product that they originally designed, the genetic work in my district, and look to the FDA to see if they could get it approved for food. In late 2020, they got it approved. There's an alpha-gal safe pig product out there, but no major supplier has picked up the license on it. But it's out there for those people who suffer from that. So that's a minor one. But then I asked Davis Michaels, who does incredible work for me in my office, to come up with a list of all the different ones. And we know everybody knows about the big three: Lyme, alpha-gal, Rocky Mountain spotted fever. But my goodness, there's close to a dozen, if not more, diseases. And I'm learning so much listening to all the co-infections and so forth that are going on here. That's why this hearing or meeting today is so important, Mr. Secretary. Thank you so much. And as chairman of the Health Subcommittee of Energy and Commerce, I'll do whatever I can to help move these things along, not just Chris Smith's bill, which he's been the champion on for years and years, but anything else that we can do to improve situations on lots of diseases. But today we'll focus on tick-borne illnesses. And thank you so much for doing this. And I yield.
Thank you, Chairman. I asked Dr. Oz to come here to talk about some of the funding options for Americans who may get sick.
So first off, let me make it clear to all of you, if you didn't already realize it, that this Sentinel event, this roundtable online, would never have happened if it wasn't for Secretary Kennedy sitting calmly next to me, not being so calm all the time, taking a he looks mild-mannered here, but you get him going on things like Lyme, and it gets him agitated for a very good reason. The massive ship that is HHS even with the great captain, cannot change direction unless he's barking about it all the time. And I learned early on that when you mix medicine with politics, you know what you get? Politics. There's no more medicine left. I learned this on the show when I began talking about chronic Lyme, and I've had many of the folks around this table, either on the show or I interviewed them around it. Dr. Phillips and others have come and joined and with blue chip pedigree, with great efforts to try to explain what's happening. They get no respect from academic centers frequently, but in generally from the medical community. And the question, why is that? And there's a quote as you walked into this building from Hubert Humphrey, and he says, the moral obligation of government to take care of those living in the shadows. And folks who suffer from chronic Lyme are indeed living in the shadows. Many of you have witnessed it. I certainly have. But when I began to recognize that the boards and the other groups that drive this process, and insurance companies, of course, are incentivized by these boards taking a strict stance with a limited amount of time for treatment and thus forcing people into diagnosis that might not truly represent them, you begin to realize you need powerful allies to make change happen. The Cohens were friends of mine, and Alex actually was born at my hospital not that many years ago, a few years ago. But she and Steve have been very supportive of this, but it takes people like that who appreciate this. But I'll tell you, going to those events, you realize that there's a volcano of activity ready to erupt amongst people who are frustrated, angry that this has not been addressed. As Congressman Smith said, when you're talking to the wall, nothing happens. After a while, you realize that it's not an accident. There's an active desire not to hear the story get loud. And so we began looking into this a little bit at the instruction of Secretary Kennedy and noticed a few things. First off, in the chronic disease categories, especially with Lyme, there's a general short-circuiting of the system. So it becomes a condition that resembles other conditions. It makes it hard to put it into a bucket. So if you don't want to put it in a bucket, it makes it that much easier to avoid managing it. There are about 90,000 cases of Lyme disease reported by the CDC. Now, you heard a much larger number from Secretary Kennedy, didn't you? Others will probably reflect that. But we only know about 90,000 because only 9,000 fit into one of those buckets. That's data from 2023, by the way. It is still the most common tick-borne disease in North America, but it's not nearly what it truly represents in the impact it has, including economic impact on our country when college students can't show up in class, get educated, go to school, and become contributing members of society, which is one of the values of investing in healthcare. Of those people infected by chronic Lyme, in addition to memory loss problems, joint pain, debilitating amounts of discomfort often, you end up with destructions of families. People don't even know what to think about their relatives. My family's from the eastern part of Pennsylvania. Is a lot of Lyme disease. I can't even keep track of the number of relatives.
All right, so there a peek into the round table happening with various health officials and others with personal anecdotes related to Lyme disease. That taking place live right now as we speak. We've come back out into the studio. We've only got about 8 minutes left in the stream, but we wanted to make sure we touched on two major stories that happened over the weekend, two shootings that happened over the weekend before we get out of here and give. There haven't been many updates today, but still important to go over these stories just in case anyone doesn't have the most current information and updates. The first, a shooting at Bondi Beach in Sydney, Australia. 15 people killed, more than 40 hurt after two gunmen, believed to be a father and son, opened fire on Sunday at an event marking the first day of the Jewish holiday of Hanukkah, according to authorities. 15 people killed in a shooting in Australia. Now, there's also video of a bystander who jumped in and wrestled a gun away from one of the shooters. And I do believe that that gentleman there in that image is the man who jumped in and wrestled the gun away from one of the shooters, likely saving countless lives in doing so. That bystander's name was Ahmad Al-Ahmad. He was injured and hospitalized, but he did wrestle a gun away from one of the shooters. There you see the images on the beach. They're one of the shooters. And, of course, the images on the beach of those visitors sprinting away from the area. Shocking images to see right here. There's the bystander jumping one of the shooters, taking the gun from him, and then pointing the gun at him and not pulling the trigger. There's an aerial view of one of the shooters. Again, Bondi Beach in Sydney, Australia. 15 people killed, 40 people injured. The father, 54 years old, shot and killed by police. The son, 24 years old, critically hurt and hospitalized. The victims killed range in the age from 10 to 87, according to the NSW Joint Counterterrorism Team. The Australian Prime Minister, Anthony Albanese, said on Monday that the massacre would be remembered as a dark day in Australia's history. The Sydney Opera House projecting a picture of a menorah onto its sails, one of the defining symbols of Australia, projecting that menorah onto its sails after this shooting that happened on the first day of Hanukkah, targeting a Hanukkah celebration, allegedly targeting a Hanukkah celebration based on reporting. Now, the National Cabinet met on Monday, ordered police and prosecutors to come up with options for stricter gun laws, so that becoming an issue along with this shooting as well. And the Prime Minister said it, a dark day in Australia after that shooting. As more details come, we will continue to report them to you. It was a dark day at Brown University as well, as a shooting also occurred at Brown University, where 2 people were killed and others were hurt in, again, a shooting where there was a person who had been taken into custody in regards to this shooting. That person has since been released from custody, and a manhunt for the assailant continues. An assailant who fatally shot 2 Brown University students on Saturday. The investigation to identify a suspect now in its 3rd day, as again, a person was initially detained in connection with the shooting. That person has been, quote, effectively cleared, according to the Rhode Island State Attorney General, speaking to ABC News. So the search for the suspect in that shooting continuing into today after a potential suspect was released. As there are now investigators just working surely nonstop to try and identify and find this suspect after, again, 2 students were killed at Brown University in a shooting on Saturday. So 2 devastating incidents happening on different continents in different parts of the world, but 2 shootings this weekend that will have tragic and devastating reverberations for many, many, many months to come, many years to come. 15 people killed in Australia, 2 killed at Brown University in 2 separate shooting incidents. So 2 stories that we will surely follow very closely as they develop in the coming days, especially as the search for a suspect in the Brown University shooting continues into today. All right, so 2:57 p.m. here. We have neared essentially the end of our stream. Very, very difficult stories to end it on. And let's go ahead and look at some of our tower cams. Naya, before we get out of here, we did have a weather impact alert early this morning. It ended at 11 a.m. And so we'll look around at a day that is very sunny and very clear, but is very, very cold. So it may look from some of our camera shots here like it's a beautiful day outside, and the beauty is in the eye of the beholder. It may still be a beautiful day, but it is freezing cold outside, especially overnight and into this morning. And the good news is those temperatures will start to rise as we progress through the week, all the way till Thursday and Friday, when we're expected to actually be above average, the rare above average temperature days here in this very, very cold start to December. So we've taken you around Hampton Roads here. That one of our wide shots there. You can see the entire sort of a whole coastline. This out in Hampton University. Look how clear and blue those skies are. The Christmas tree in the foreground, and this is a beautiful. Oh, that's all right, Naya. Keep it. I like what you keep it moving, Naya. Keep it moving. I like it. This again, out in Hampton. Naya gave a sorry there because she was clicking through the images, but that's what we're doing. A roundup is very nice. Now, Naya, can you tell us what you're seeing in some of these images? What sticks out to you about the weather today?
I don't see many clouds.
Almost no clouds at all. It is so clear out there. That image of the ocean front has a little cloud layer towards the bottom, but that's about it. And Naya has actually volunteered to close the show today. And so the People's producer, Naya Campbell, also quickly becoming the People's Live Impact News host, Nia Campbell. Nia, would you like to close the show out on this Monday?
That's going to do it here for 13 News Now Plus. I'm Nia Campbell. This is Connor Reel. We'll see you guys tomorrow.